Hello, friends. I can't believe it's so close to Shavuot, the holiday that we receive the Torah on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai. And I'm sure some of you have seen the beautiful flowers that have been coming out now that we're in the spring. And Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, was decorated with beautiful flowers once Hashem chose that mountain to be the mountain to give the Torah on. So, as we get ready to receive the Torah again, and for the holiday of Shavuot, what do you think is the best way we could get ready? So I have a book here, and the name of the book is A Dozen Daisies for Raizy, a Shavuot story. The author is Rebecca Klempner, and it's illustrated by Chava. Raizy peeked into a bucket of roses. She breathed in the sweet smell of lilacs. She carefully stroked the waxy petal of a tulip. "Bubby," said Raizy, "I wish I could bring all these flowers home for Shavuos." Raisy's grandmother laughed. "I wish you could too. It's so hard to choose." Just then, Raizy spotted a sign. "Fresh daisies, take home a dozen today." The colorful petals with the golden centers looked cheerful and friendly. Raizy poked around in her little plastic purse. Yes, she saved enough. Turning to the florist, she asked, "May I have these, please?" Smiling, the florist pulled out 12 daisies and tied them with a yellow satin bow. A dozen daisies for Raizy. Raizy paid and picked up her flowers. "They're all mine," she thought. Raizy stopped for a moment. She imagined her daisies blooming all over Har Sinai in honor of Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah. "Let's go," said Bubby. She held out her hand. Together, she and Raizy stepped out of the flower shop. "Oh, look," said Raizy. "There's Naomi. She's a new girl in my class, and that must be her mother." "Hi, Naomi," Raizy called. But the new girl just stared down at her shoes. How do you think the new girl was feeling? Does she look a little shy? "What's wrong, Naomi? You look so sad." Naomi sighed. "In my old neighborhood, my father used to invite all his friends to a big kiddush at our house. After they learned Torah together all night long, I would prepare different kind of cheesecakes with my mother, and my friends would come over to help. Since we're new in town, we don't know many people. Shavuot won't be the same this year." "My father makes a big kiddush too," said Raizy. "Everyone is hungry after staying up all night. Hey, why didn't you come to help out at our kiddush this year? It will be so much fun." Look at the yummy cheesecakes they're baking, and cookies and cakes. Naomi's mother said, "We'd love to." Then she added, "Are those your Shavuot flowers, Raizy? They are so beautiful." Raizy thought about her daisies. If they belonged to her, then they were hers to share. Raizy plucked 2 daisies out of the bunch and handed them to a very surprised Naomi. "Thanks a lot, Raizy." "Chag Sameach." Good Yom Tov. Did she make her friend feel really good? Now there were 10 daisies for Raizy. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She had 12. She gave away 2. Now she's left with 10. Together, Bubby and Raizy continued on their way. A few minutes later, they met Mrs. Short, who was carrying a bag of groceries. Raizy noticed a bag of frozen cheese blintzes sticking out at the top. Right? It's accustomed to have a lot of different, to eat dairy foods on Shavuot. And she had some frozen cheese blintzes. That's why a lot of us have ice cream parties then, right? Hi, Mrs. Shorts, said Raizy. I see you're going to eat blintzes on Shavuot. Oh, yes, said the elderly lady. Usually I make my own, but this year my grandchildren are going to spend Shavuot with their other grandmother. So I bought this little box of blintzes just for me, she sighed. And she's imagining, look how she might feel. Looks like she might feel quite lonely. Raizy looked up at Bubby, who nodded and smiled. Well, said Raizy, my mother's looking for some Shavuot guests. Will you come and eat blintzes at our house? Why, aren't you sweet, said Mrs. Shorts. I think I will. Ooh, I think Mendel has some Shavuot flowers for us too. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful. Where did you get them?
I found them.
You just picked them in the garden? Wow. Mendel picked some beautiful flowers in our garden. For Shavuot. Okay, so let's see. What happened to Mrs. Shorts? Did she join? She said, why, aren't you sweet? I think I will. Then Raizy remembered her flowers. She pulled 2 daisies out of her bouquet and handed them to a very happy Mrs. Shorts. Thank you, Raizy. Chag Sameach. Now, how many daisies left for Raizy? Now there were 8 daisies for Raizy. Raizy's doing so many mitzvahs. They were almost home when someone called out, Hello, Raizy. What lovely flowers. Raizy looked up to see her neighbor, Mrs. Mizrahi, sitting on the front porch. She held 2 smiling babies in her lap. Raizy lifted her flowers so the babies could see them better. How are Ruti and Boaz? She asked. Baruch Hashem, thank God, getting bigger every day, said her mother. But now that the twins are walking, it's much harder to watch them both at once. I don't know how I'm going to manage to hear the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 Commandments on Shavuot. You see the twins? I know my mother would let me help you, said Raizy. I love taking care of babies. If I hold one and you hold the other, we can all hear the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 Commandments. You would do that for me, said Mrs. Mizrahi. Raizy, you're a wonderful neighbor. Raizy chose 2 of the prettiest daisies and handed them to a very grateful Mrs. Mizrahi. Thank you, Raizy. Chag Sameach. Now there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 daisies for Raizy. As soon as Raizy and Bubby came home, Raizy ran into the kitchen to show her mother the flowers. Ima, look at my daisies! Aren't they beautiful? And guess what? A new girl in my class is coming to help at our kiddush. Mrs. Shorts is eating blintzes with us tomorrow, and Mrs. Mizrahi wants me to watch the twins with her in shul, in the synagogue. How exciting, Raizy. Now let's put your flowers in some water so they'll stay fresh. Raizy placed her 6 daisies in a little glass vase with some water. Just then her brother Yaakov strolled into the kitchen. He looked at the vase in surprise. 6 flowers? That's all you bought? Raizy didn't know what to answer. She loved her bouquet, even if it was a bit small. She thought about where her other daisies might be right now. Then Bubby smiled at Yaakov and said, I have a secret to tell you. This may look like a bouquet of flowers, but this is really your sister's bouquet of mitzvot. It's half as big as it started out, but it's twice as beautiful. She could have came home with her dozen of daisies, her 12 daisies, but she chose to give out her daisies, and she made so many people so happy. And then she looked at her bouquet and she was happy, right? Because when we give to other people, it makes us happy too. What a special way for Raizy to prepare for Shavuot. I want to hear how you are preparing. I am excited to have some yummy ice cream. And I hope to hear the 10 Commandments, the Aseret HaDibrot. And definitely going to have some beautiful flowers like we had on Har Sinai. Well, it was fun reading with you, friends. See you soon.